let's talk about swapping shaders. So let's go over how to use Dynamic Shader Swapper tool. This tool allows you to easily swap your material shader into one of the dynamic rain and wetness ones. So you go up to Tools, MoveRotateResize, Dynamic Shader Swapper, and Shader Swapper. Then you can drag this to the side. First, let's go over converting a URP shader. This system will combine your metallic, your ambient occlusion, your detail, and your smoothness map into one mass map. This will save on draw calls, reducing it from 4 to 1. We'll skip going over all the settings, go straight down to converting the shader. So you pick an original shader, which will be the URP shader demo shader, and we'll pick a replacement shader, which will be a rain wetness default. So we'll skip everything else and go straight down to swap shaders. So what this does is checks your entire project folder for all the materials with that original shader and then replaces them with the replacement shader. So let's check out that combined mass map. So we'll hit Inspector and we'll scroll down to Mass Map. Let's click on that and it'll bring it up in the project folder. So now over here you can see in the R channel it's got the metallic map, in the green it's got the ambient occlusion, and the blue it's got the detail mask map, and in A it's got the smoothness map. A handy feature of the shader swapper is letting you use Ctrl-Z to undo your shader swapping changes. Doesn't matter how many shaders you're converting, this will undo all of them. Next, let's go over converting a URP shader. So let's click on the other shell. We'll expand that one. So if we click on this, this already has a mass map, which I've combined before recording this. So if we'll click on that, we'll check this out. So this is in a separate folder. This is actually in the shell texture folder. So this has already been combined. It's the exact same as the other one as I recombined it. So let's go over how to convert HDRP shader. Let's go back to Shader Swapper. So what we'll do is go to original shader and we'll switch this to HDRP shader demo shader and leave it same as before with the default shader, and then I'll press swap. So as you can see, it looks a little different. It swapped it over and now it's using the rain wetness default shader. Scroll down and if we click on the mass map, we'll see that it's using the pre-made one I made before. As when converting from HDRP, it'll just copy the mass map straight over and skip all the steps of combining. Now that we've gone over how to do your basic conversions, let's go back up to the settings. So we'll start at the top with tools. So what this lets you do is fix the hidden shader error, which sometimes happens when converting from URP to HDRP. And you'll see, as an example, this would say, instead of this shader, it would say hidden shader error. And what you can do is go to the shader swapper. It helps to know if you know your shader was originally. So in this case, let's say this was the lit shader. So what we'll do is we'll go type lit up here, click on HDRP lit, and then we'll go to fix selected object shaders. So go to inspector and we'll check out over here. So what this did is it switched over the base map and the normal map. So as long as you pick the same shader that you originally had before it said hidden shader error, this will automatically switch over all textures and variables. Let's check out the shader property group. So let's click on this and go to the project window and then go back to the inspector. So this is a scriptable object which holds a list of variables. Shader Swapper uses these variables to help it find textures in their original shader and the replacement shader. So for example, if your original shader had this variable and your replacement had this, the Shader Swapper script would know that those two are the same texture, and then it can move them over from the original to the replacement. You can also go ahead and press the plus or minus to add or remove items from the list. I'd recommend not removing any, as most of them are required for this script to work. But first we'll go over how you know what variables to add. So for this, what we'll do is go up here to Tools, MoveRotateResize, Shader Swapper, and Shader Property Finder. Click on that. Now we'll drag this over to the side. So what the script does is help you find texture variables on your shader. So for example, we are going to look at the URP shader from the demo. So once we put this in, now it says under the base color, this is the shader variable. And for normal, this is that, and so on and so forth. This will try to do its best at putting them into the right categories. Sometimes it doesn't have a category, so they'll go into the no category section. Now that we know how to find shader properties, let's add those to the Shader Swapper so it can convert your shader. So we'll go back over to Shader Swapper and we'll click on the shader property group, click on that, go over here to your project window, click on that again, and then now you go to inspector and you will lock it. So now what we'll do is drag the shader property finder over here. We'll move these over. So now what you can do is use the shader property finder and add the found properties to the scriptable object. So what we can do is go over to the base color map here. We'll check that one out first. So here's a list of all the base color map variables that the shader swapper uses to try and find your shader's base color map and the replacement shader's base color map. So in this case, this one is already in the list, so we're good to go in that one. Next, we'll check out the normal map. So underscore normal map, and it's already here. So that means we're good to go on that one too. So if this was your shader and it didn't have this underscore here, say in this shader property finder, you'd have to add it over here, press plus, and then delete that. What we'll do is remove this for now. So now that you added all your variables, we're good to swap over. So that's all there is to it, to adding shader property variables to the shader property group scriptable object. Next, we'll move on to the combined suffix name. This is the name that will be added to the end of your combined mass map when it's combined using the shader swapper. So in this case, it'll be underscore mass map. It always has an underscore before what you type. That way you can easily find it in the folders, and it's under Assets, MoveRotateResize, Dynamic Shader Swapper, and Mass Maps Combined. You can click on that, and this will be where all your mass maps are combined. So down here is the last settings, which lets you remap channels. For instance, you can remap the metallic channel to the A channel. I'd recommend leaving these as default, as a shader swapper requires them to be like that. This will be expanded upon in future updates. Hope that helped you have a better understanding how to swap shaders.